Good morning. It's the Call Flow Radio Show, and you're on the air.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Happy Monday to you. Good morning, sir.
Good morning to you.
And good morning to all of you out there, sir, madams, indifferent or otherwise. We're glad you're with us on this Monday. It is the 27th of February, almost through.
It's Monday.
With the month. It is.
I'm just saying.
Part one.
We will all get through it together.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and for some people, they don't mind it. Oh, of course, it's an open mic day. You can give Larry and I a call if you would like. 434-394-0924 is the number to call. Some history. We'll start 1807. Poet Henry Wadsworth Longfellow, born in Portland, Maine. Jump a little over 100 years to 1922. The Supreme Court in Lesser v. Garnett unanimously upheld the 19th Amendment, which guaranteed the right of women to vote.
Still blows
took
my
that
mind
long?
that it took that long.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
There were some places you would think that they'd already had the right, and they still hadn't even. They were later than we were.
Amazing.
It really is.
Well.
Yeah. 1933, Germany's parliament building, the Reichstag, gutted by fire. Chancellor Adolf Hitler, blaming the communists, used the fire to justify suspending civil liberties.
I'm kind of biting my tongue here.
Why?
I don't know. There's just things about this.
Were you going to say that we almost saw something like that similar here?
Something.
I wonder where you got that idea from. 1939, Supreme Court once again in the news. The National Labor Relations Board versus Fan Steel Metallurgical Corporation effectively outlawed sit-down strikes. I know. They're much easier than stand-up strikes, aren't they?
Yes, by far.
Especially on the feet.
Well, and if you got a sleeping bag, you can go for a long time.
Well, that's a lie-down strike, but that's different,
sorry.
so that doesn't count.
But that's legal. But not sitting down.
Not sit-downs.
Okay.
1942, the Battle of the Java Sea begins. Imperial Japanese naval forces scored a decisive victory over the Allies.
I love that name, the Java Sea.
The Java Sea?
It's made out of coffee.
Which is interesting because I think Java Island is one of the few places coffee does not come from.
Right.
I think. I could be mistaken, but
that's up in
I
Japan,
believe they
right?
do
Is that
not.
what you said?
Near Japan, yeah. 1951, the 22nd Amendment to our Constitution, which limits the president to 2 terms of office, ratified by the states.
I had this crazy idea the other day that we do the same thing for senators.
Well, so you'd
Term
have to make an
limits.
amendment for that.
I just can't imagine. Would they vote for that?
Well, even if they would, it's got to be ratified by enough states to make it an amendment.
Still would be awesome.
Yeah, but that'll never happen.
But it would be awesome.
Yeah, but it'll never happen. They're not going to do anything to cut their nose off despite their face.
So why would that be such a good thing, term limits for, House and Senate?
Because it shouldn't be a job.
Exactly.
Shouldn't be a career. Never was intended to be. Shouldn't be now. 1973, members of the American Indian Movement occupied the hamlet of Wounded Knee in South Dakota, the site, of course, of the 1890 massacre of men, women, and children of the Sioux. The occupation lasted over a year, all the way till the following May.
What a travesty.
Yeah, one of many.
For some reason, it just made me think of Ukraine. A year under siege.
Mm-hmm. They are putting up one heck of a fight.
How much things change that they remain the same.
The more that's it. The more they change, the more they stay the same. 91, Operation Desert Storm comes to a conclusion, supposedly, as President George H.W. Bush declares Kuwait is liberated, Iraq's army defeated. It announced that the Allies would suspend combat operations at midnight.
So I have to comment on this one because I was actually on the USS Ranger during
at
this
that time?
conflict. Yeah, we were the last carrier group into the Persian Gulf. There was 5 of us.
Wow.
And every 2 weeks we'd rotate. So we were the last ones in and the last ones out. But it was amazing. I mean, we lost 2 A6 pilots the first day, and then we didn't lose any more. But a regular Westpac, they usually lose 5 to 10 people. But it was so focused. We were so focused out there on what we were doing. But on the other side, all we knew was what we were seeing from CNN. We weren't getting inside information at all. But it was fascinating. I mean, the way they actually did that war with the Hawkeyes, everybody got the day before a 1 mile square that they were responsible for to clear out any enemy type of thing.
Okay.
So that's how it worked for this whole, you have 5 carrier groups, the Army, the Marines, everybody. They had to have some way to coordinate all that. And most of it was done with those Hawkeyes. And they could actually fly the planes.
That's
down
pretty
in.
cool.
It was amazing.
That's pretty cool. A good friend of mine who retired after he commanded a few bases and then finally retired from the military. When he went it, right about that time, he was already in. He had one of those jobs of reading the imaging and telling, this is school, this is installation, this kind of thing. And I can always remember it was kind of one of those jobs of I could tell you exactly what I do, but I'd have to kill you,
Yeah, I was in a band while we were on the boat. So we practiced every single morning.
Out on the deck playing?
No, it's in the TV studio. I mean, it's an aircraft carrier. It's got everything.
Well, yeah.
And it did have
a hotel, floating hotel.
So we'd come out of practice and we'd be watching the guys in there, and they were watching video. They were doing the BDA, the bomb damage assessment. Okay. So what we were watching was these bombs coming down. They have cameras in them, and you see where they hit, and you see people scatter and stuff like that. So that's kind of interesting.
It's remarkable how modernized warfare is. I mean, and that was 30 years ago.
Exactly.
And so you can kind of imagine how in 30 years you've seen how your technology just in your hand has evolved. How do you think the military has evolved? So,
it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, pretty wild. This surprising. 1997, divorce finally becomes legal in Ireland.
Do you think that it was the offense of divorcing, it being illegal? Do you think they were enforcing that?
Probably. You got to consider the large Catholic contingency of Ireland.
Great point.
I'm sure that's where that stemmed from.
Yeah. Very good point.
Yeah. 98, with approval of Queen Elizabeth II, Britain's House of Lords agreed to end 1,000 years of male preference by giving a monarch's firstborn daughter the same claim as any firstborn son. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, she I mean...
It fascinates me through the eras, 14, 15, 16. Every century it seems to change on the acceptance of women. So it's amazing.
In the English, most of the time, the few women that have sat on the throne, it was because there was no male heir at that point.
I would love to see, we might get calls about this controversy, a female president. Would that be cool?
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised that we haven't had one yet.
I agree.
Well, I think part of that may be there haven't been many who've tried to run.
The candidates.
Yeah, there haven't been many candidates out there who've tried to run for. Although the numbers have increased. You still comparatively have a very small number of females in Congress.
True.
In the grand scheme, the percentage is low. I don't know. Maybe women are smarter and stay out of politics more. Maybe it's that.
But then, so I wonder how many female governors we have now. Because a lot of times presidents come out of that role, too.
Yeah, usually they were governors beforehand.
Mm-hmm. Arizona?
I know there are several. I mean, there's a fair amount of female governors and have been for a good while.
I wonder why Nancy Pelosi never ran
for president.
Yeah,
I don't know if she ever had the aspirations.
I don't think so.
I don't think. I mean, she never alluded to it.
But can you visualize it?
No. I can't visualize her as president. I think she's too polarizing.
She is. She's very much
Too polarizing to have been president. That was Hillary's problem.
So I'm seeing a lot of talk about Youngkin running for president.
God, I hope not.
He's very soft-spoken guy.
Usually.
Usually. I can see the appeal for a lot of people, but...
My problem is you haven't done anything yet to prove yourself.
Exactly.
To try and run for a position like that. Although that hasn't stopped many of them in the past. So,
He just needs a TV show, and he'll be in there in a heartbeat.
Let's hope not. So there's a look at your history for the day. Celebrity birthdays? Well, the great Joanne Woodward. 93 today.
Wow.
93. I mean, that's really something, too. You think about, Paul Newman and her, how long they've been together. There aren't many Hollywood couples that make that kind of history. So kudos to them. Consumer advocate, talk about former presidential candidate Ralph Nader. 89 today. Unsafe at any speed. Actress Deborah Monk turns 74, brilliant actress. Neil Schon from Journey is 69. Adrian Smith of Iron Maiden, 66. Great actor Timothy Spall, also 66 today. I think most people would remember more from Harry Potter, probably, than anything else. Most of his other stuff have been more independent films and stuff. He was, if you have watched the brilliant biography of the painter Turner, called Turner.
Okay.
Timothy Spall played Turner.
Okay.
Yeah. Who else here? Adam Baldwin, actor, 61. Grant Show, also 61 today. Noah Emmerich, 58. Chili, the Sea of TLC, the R&B group, 52 today. Who else? Talking of presidential connections, Chelsea Clinton, 43. Didn't realize she was that old. She's 43 today. Jake Clemens, he's part of the E Street Band. He is also 43 today. Singer Bobby V, the R&B singer.
Good. Bobby V.
Yeah, not V-E-E, but just V, is 43. And people say, Bobby V, he's dead. Singer Josh Groban is 42. Jared Champion, one of Cage the Elephant, good band out of Kentucky, he's 49 today. And actress Lindsay Morgan, she turns 33.
Nice.
So there you go, your celebrity birthdays.
Happy birthday, celebrities.
Yep. Nationally, it is National Kahlua Day. So,
did you like Kahlua?
Yeah, I can have a taste for it. It's not something I would drink every day, but every now and then it's like, a black Russian, a white Russian.
Yeah, white Russian right after dinner.
Yeah, it's nice. A little Kahlua in coffee is always nice, too.
Absolutely.
You could do that this morning and celebrate that way.
Oh, yeah.
If you don't have to go to work.
Do you want me to go get some?
I've already had my cup for the day.
Or maybe a caller can bring some in.
Appreciate it. National Polar Bear Day.
To
honor the Coca-Cola mascot.
Look at those two little babies.
They are cuties. But even little, they can kill you. I mean, they'd run from you. They'd probably be scared. But the viciousness of a polar bear.
I just had the greatest vision of you running down the street being
chased by a polar bear. Gee, thanks, Larry. That's
It was. Yeah.
I wouldn't be running for long because I'm sure it could run faster than I can.
Nah, he caught up and just embraced a big old hug.
Oh, well, then I wouldn't mind.
Fuzzy.
I have to say, knowing how vicious they are, you'd never get anywhere close to them. But there's something about a polar bear that does. You just want to hug them. I don't know. They seem like they'd be cute and cuddly animals, but they would just one swipe and take your head off.
Oh, innocent.
Like most bears. It's National Strawberry Day, so pick up some strawberries.
I don't know. That seems strange.
Have those
February,
for dessert.
Isn't it? It's a little early in the season for celebrating.
Well, it is kind of weird that it would be 27th. So why is it? Let us see. Oh, it continues February's heart-shaped red theme.
Wow.
Is the idea of why they did it here.
So is there like a committee that decides what the day is going to be?
Yes.
Could you see that? You know,
yeah, people submit, and there is actually a national day committee.
They have a
committee
conference
that will
room.
approve. I assume they have offices somewhere.
Meeting at 9:00. We're going to determine if strawberries can make it into a February day.
Is this acceptable or not? It's National Retro Day.
Yeah, that's good.
Yep, taking you back to a time before the internet and smartphones is the idea. So pick a decade and remember when is the whole point of it. No surprise that it was a day that the 80s generation put in place. We kind of created that one. It is also Anosmia Awareness Day. Or maybe it's anosmia. I'm not exactly sure how you would say that. Bring attention to the condition that causes the loss of smell.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Of all senses, smell is perhaps taken for granted more than any other, and there are many causes of anosmia. The common reasons: upper respiratory infection and disease. Of course, we all go through cold or allergy that temporarily, screws up your smells. But this is a permanent or long-term loss of smell. It can be lifelong for many people, which means not just that they don't get to smell flowers and whatnot, but when they eat food, everything tastes different because the scent glands are a big part of how we eat.
Doing some of these art shows and stuff like that where there's a lot of people, almost invariably each show I get a smell that just sends me back someplace.
Oh, some memory.
Isn't it fantastic what the smelling process can do for our well-being?
Yeah, well, it is. It's like a certain song. Same thing sends you instantly back. And there is congenital anosmia. People can be born with having no sense of smell, although that is extremely rare. It's usually something that causes the condition. Very few people are born with it.
Yeah. Well, if you've never had it, then it's probably harder to miss it.
You would think.
But
and
if
I assume
everybody else has this superpower of smell and you don't have it, would the other kids make fun of you?
Oh, I'm sure they do. Children are just that way. I mean, even the nice kids were. At some point, you tease each other. I mean, that's just being a kid. Yeah. Sometimes it goes too far, of course. But, I think that's par for the course.
Yeah.
Par for the course there. But, I assume, just like with any other, you lose a certain scent and others become heightened. I would assume the same thing happens with smell.
I think so.
Your sense of I'd be more curious about how the sense of taste develops. Yeah. Because, the taste buds and stuff don't change. It's just that aspect of tasting has been removed.
I'm sure there's a ailment that you can't taste, right?
Probably.
Wouldn't it be a little weird if you think about trying to eat without taste? You wouldn't have much motivation to eat.
Well, no, you'd eat just out of necessity.
So I always thought, we'd just have bars. That's probably the way it should be. We
just everything a giant buffet.
And then it's just a bar in like a wrapper.
Oh, okay. Soylent Green, basically.
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
We'll just
here's an interesting bit of trivia for you.
Okay.
When it comes to talking about smells and food, people come in the kitchen or whatever, and somebody's cooking. What are you making? Smells delicious. Smells delicious. 90% of the time, it's onions. In some fashion, whether it's in a soup, whatever. What you smell is just the onions. That's what your nose picks up on. You don't realize it.
Yeah, no, I can see that. Or even the onion smell can be modulated a little bit.
Yeah, the cooking of onions.
But that's what's giving
trigger. Yeah, they're so pungent. But cooked onions trigger something within the brain.
Do you use a lot of onion?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's part of the holy trinity there of cooking. You got to have
some scallions.
Oh, green onions.
I told you I made a great stew last night.
Yeah,
it had onions, and the house
I didn't get any,
great.
but I've heard of this stew. Maybe one day. Got to hold out for that. Folks.
That's right. I'm just going to pick out all the mushrooms for you.
Not for me. I love mushrooms. Love them. I would harvest my own out in the wild if I knew enough that I knew I wouldn't kill myself.
I tried to do that when we got here. I got it. Yeah, I was going to grow mushrooms. That was
that's easier.
Going to be my plan. But man, I found all kinds of stuff out on Fran's property.
No, there's yeah.
It was like, oh wow, and I was pretty convinced that the ones I found were okay, but there's just a little doubt is all you need not to eat the mushroom.
I have enough of a doubt that I'm like, no. And I've got several books, but I still don't feel confident enough to just cook up and eat.
Yeah. Well, so many of them look so much like another one, even with the application. You can take your phone and figure out anything out there, but there's just too many mushrooms.
No, you take a picture. It might be this, which is safe, and this is safe, or this, which will kill you instantly. Okay. So, we're not going to do that.
One application, they had a host of people that were on it, so you could post it up there, and people would tell you what it was and how it tasted.
I wonder. Now, I know there's a place in Charlottesville that's a mushroom farm.
Mm-hmm.
That's there. I wonder if we have anybody close. I haven't seen it at the farmer's market. Is there anybody here that does grow their own mushrooms?
Yes, there is.
Yeah?
I've met the guy. People? Yeah, he bought a stereo from me one day, and he's got a whole setup out there.
Call us if you see us.
Yeah.
I would love to have fresh mushrooms and know more to where I could pick them and be safe. I'd be curious if anybody out there listening grows their own. I did them one year, and you get the box lined with plastic, and you put your soil in, you put it in a dark closet, and they came up and they were tasty.
Oh, yours was in a box. Mine was in a bag.
The ones in the
white
bag?
Psyllium growing out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks pretty easy, but I just couldn't decide what kind and where, and I don't know.
Yeah, having the right location.
Yeah.
And you got to keep it damp and whatnot.
And what discouraged me was I kept watching these videos of people who do it, and invariably every single one of them, after the season was done, they had to buy more equipment. They had to buy a bigger room. They had to, it was a perpetual growing process. And I'm like, I've done that way too many times.
Anyone who gardens, particularly food, but any kind of gardening, will tell you once you get going, there's always, now you want to try this, now you want to try that. It can be a hobby of insanity.
Well, and it's kind of cool. You get the little syringes, and there's a scientific methodology of them.
Mycelium,
and it has to be a clean space. So they're going to sell you a clean space for.
Well, but I've also seen where you can get the plugs. It's basically the mycelium in sawdust, and so you have a good oak log, and you put it up on some stands off and just into the edge of the woods, and drill in and. Hammer these in, and they'll feed off that log, and you can use that same log for several years before it's broken down to the point it won't. It isn't enough to nourish the mushrooms anymore.
Too. That's a good way to go.
Yeah, that's probably what I would do if I do. I thought about it, maybe over behind the greenhouse or something. I don't know.
We'll have to talk.
I tell you, I get too much anyway. Speaking of talking, we've been doing enough talking. It's time for you to talk to us. Yeah. But you'll have to wait till after we do our break because it is 8:31, and it does mean we have to break for the weather and the birthday and anniversary calendar. Got a very special birthday for today that we'll tell you about, too. But, again, weather comes first, and that's brought to you by the Bank of Charlotte County.
Hello, I'm Stuart Wilborn, manager of the Bank of Charlotte County Loan Office in downtown Farmville. With over 30 years of banking experience, I'm here to help you finance your commercial, agricultural, or personal project. Give us a call at 391-1136 or stop by our downtown office at 216 North Main Street, where you'll find old-school personal assistance with attention to detail. The Bank of Charlotte County, giving you more for your banking needs. Member FDIC and Equal Housing Lender.
All right. Well, weather-wise for today, it is a 50% chance of rain. That is not expected until this afternoon. Look for it to be mostly cloudy. Highs in the upper 50s. East winds 5 to 10. Now, tonight, 80% chance of rain. That's expected to go until the early morning hours. Low right around 50 degrees. Southeast winds 6 to 10. That'll probably die around midnight. Tomorrow, a sunny day, highs in the mid-70s, westerly winds 7 to 11. Partly cloudy Tuesday night, lows in the low 40s. And sunny again on Wednesday, looking for highs right around 70 degrees. Easterly winds 6 to 10 miles an hour, switching to southerly winds come the afternoon. Right now, humidity still 91%, barometer relatively steady at 29.97 inches. No wind at the moment. Still mostly cloudy out there that morning cover, and it probably won't fully go away since it's the rain coming in later. Temperature-wise, we're at 39 degrees now. That's here outside of the WFLO studios. That's your weather, brought to you by the Bank of Charlotte County. Includes branch locations in Phoenix, Charlotte Courthouse, Keysville, Brookneal, and don't forget that loan office right here in downtown Farmville. Well, you know it's time now for your birthday and anniversary calendar. It is brought to you today by the Law Office of Terry Atkins Wilson, PC, on Main Street in Farmville. All right, who have we got on the list today, Larry?
We've got a few people here.
We do.
So, Joseph Harrison. Happy birthday, Joseph. Also, Elizabeth Simmons Stadler. And this name, I'm most likely going to butcher, yeah, but so I apologize beforehand to Samantha Blakiewicz. I don't know. But you know whose birthday it is today?
I have a feeling I do.
Now, is it John Staten's birthday?
It is.
It is John's birthday.
It is the 27th of February. John Staten, our own John Staten.
Yeah.
So call and torture him when he...
Absolutely. give him as much grief as possible. You know, we have an anniversary here today.
Awesome.
Also.
We will do that right after our commercial break.
Perfect.
The Law Office of Terry Atkins Wilson, PC, is located at 117 North Main Street in downtown Farmville. With deep roots in Farmville and our surrounding communities, Terry and her legal staff specialize in real estate law, wills and trusts, business formations, and collections. Experience and professionalism are extended to every customer in every case. The needs and concerns of every customer are their primary focus. If you have legal needs, contact the Law Office of Terry Atkins Wilson, PC, for a consultation at 434-392-1422.
All righty. Who is our anniversary for today?
Our anniversary today goes to Jason and Lisa Adam.
Awesome.
It looks like the moon is like halfway through its cycle today.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
You know,
Yes, it is. It is the half moon.
So it's going to start waxing?
Yeah, yes.
Waxing. Okay.
Yeah, it should be the waxing moon. That is coming up. And that kicks off your birthday and anniversary calendar for today. Whether we know of your birthday, anniversary, celebration, we hope you have a fantastic day. Wish you the best whether we know it or not. Remember, if you want to get those names on the calendar, it's very easy. Email them to birthdays@wflo.net or mail them to WFLO. That, of course, is 217 West 3rd Street, Suite 2, Farmville, 23901. Your birthday and anniversary calendar today brought to you by Terry Atkins Wilson, PC, on Main Street in Farmville. Remember, for the right legal advice, to go see Terry. All right, we've got about 23 minutes left to go on the program. Give us a call if you want to join into the conversation, 434-394-0924. And whether it's mushrooms, birthdays, or anything else that's come up, give us a call. Video game players have competed against computer-controlled opponents, of course, for decades, even if you were from the arcade generation. But they haven't been as smart and fast as the GT Sophie. That is the new AI driver on PlayStation's new edition of Gran Turismo, which is an amazing racing game.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
But I didn't have a PlayStation. Did they release that on other? I mean, I have so many.
That's on the new. Well, Gran Turismo has been different iterations. The newest one is just on PS4, yeah. Visit an artificial intelligence laboratory at research universities where Sony, Google, Microsoft, they all have them. It's not unusual to find agents like Sophie. They're either slinging birds at pigs or racing cars or battles or whatever. But that's how the games learn. They play each other. And Sophie is now the smartest in the world. Minecraft
world.
Oh, yeah.
You played Minecraft?
No.
Oh, my goodness. I've spent hours and hours with my son. It was a great teaching. It's an amazing program. He picked up Redstone, which is their electricity. He just naturally knew how electricity worked. His builds are incredible.
That's awesome. Morning, you're on the air.
Good morning. How are you this morning?
Oh, just fine. How are you?
Yeah, I'm pretty good, thank you. I uncovered my firewood, now it's raining on it. But besides that, life is good.
Good.
Hey, yeah, a little bit of trivia there. I just wanted to make sure everybody knows that the Buckingham County Planning Commission is meeting tonight at 6 at the Administration Building. They'll be discussing passing the gold mining suggestions onto the Board of Supervisors and also asking for a hearing.
Okay.
And this will affect the entire area. We've got a gold pyrite belt that goes from Fairfax to Halifax. So everybody's water is in jeopardy if we allow any kind of gold mining and the toxic chemicals that go with it here. So I hope that the public will let our elected officials and our appointed officials know how they feel about this. I mean, basically, everyone that we've talked to, which is over 1,000 people, have said no, they don't want it. But how the county is willing to go forward and make the decision to pass some ordinances is really important right now. And they're sort of dancing around being willing to pass an ordinance that would protect our rights as, our inalienable rights to life, liberty, and fresh air, the ability to survive physically here on the planet, basically.
Yeah. Now, I haven't had a chance to look at the email yet this morning. I am hoping that I got one back. I went to the Friends of Buckingham site looking specifically so I could read, but I could not find it. If it's on the site, it's very difficult to find.
I appreciate that. I know how to use the site, and I always go right to it. But if you open the home page, and then you'll see that a picture of the people going across the Lee Bridge, right above that, if you click on the words, you go to the next page, which is gold. But I can send it to your email again, if that will make it easier. You'll need to go to the Virginia Community Rights Network to really click on the ordinance itself.
Okay, so the ordinance is on that Virginia Rights Network page.
It is, yeah. You'll be taken to that when you click on the View It Here on Friends of Buckingham.
Okay.
We're working together.
Okay. All right, well, thank you.
Would it be helpful if I sent you a link to your email?
Yes, please.
Okay. I'm happy to do that. It's an 11-page ordinance, but basically it's speaking about the rights that we have to an environment that enables us all to survive. So it's not about mining and regulations like you'd have for land use, but it's about human rights.
Fantastic. Yeah, I'll look out for it.
That's great. Okay, I'll send it right away. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
You're welcome.
All righty. Yeah. It was kind of complicated to find, and so hopefully she'll send me that link, and I can that way can read, because I would like to read that entire aspect of exactly this. I mean, I know basically it's rights to clean air, clean water, but I want to read this whole thing that they want to put forward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What just got my attention was that I appreciate so much that WFLO is actually serving the Farmville community, and that's exactly how it works the best. Is when is when the callers call in and tell us what is happening throughout the counties and the state. So thank you. thank you for the call, and hopefully we'll get somebody else to call in and let us know how.
Well, that's kind of what it is. I mentioned it Saturday when I was closing out my show. That I'll talk to you back on Monday on Call Flow. Hopefully you'll give us a call, because that's what makes it work. Mm-hmm. I mean, we have fun, and we can stand here and read stories and talk about mushrooms or whatever else is going on, and that's fine. I mean, we're here anyway. So, but for the show to really do what it does, it is that social interaction. It's there as a voice for the community. Yes, we try and provide information, have guests in here to give you a chance to speak to people you may not normally get a chance to speak to or whatnot. But that's only one part of the program.
Yeah.
If you don't call and engage, then
which reminds me, I've been meaning to ask this question about, because I saw that the Hearts of Virginia art show is going to be on May 6th, which apparently they used to have it May 5th or 6th. I don't know.
That always used to be the first Saturday of May.
So apparently they're reviving that date, even though they had it in September this year.
So is that going to be? Are they moving the festival then back to May, or are they bringing the art show back?
The art show back, I know, but I don't know about the other.
So maybe that's what's doing. Well, that would be great. See, originally the festival came off of what was just originally an art show.
Oh.
And the festival grew around that.
Okay.
And then COVID and other things played part, and the festival ended up in October, and they had said they were going to just leave it in the fall.
Yeah, that's what I heard too.
And that would be cool, because if you left the festival then in the fall but still had an art show in May, kind of go back to the roots.
Yeah.
That would be great. I have not heard. Maybe somebody out there is on one of the boards, the Heart of Virginia board or whatever, or if it is a new art festival board, call, let us know what's going on. Send stuff into the calendar so we can let people know.
Yeah, I would really love to know if there's other art shows or craft fairs and that type of stuff in the area. Yeah. I did great at the last Heart of Virginia.
I hated kind of one of the things that had happened was the festival had almost gotten so big that a lot of the artists part of this too was there was work being done at a period of time where part of the grass there in the promenade along was off limits, and a lot of the artists really hated it because that's where they had always been, and they started going up to a Richmond art show that was happening at the same time, and so you lost a lot of the artists from the festival. So hopefully, if that is the plan of having a separate art festival, that will bring them back. That would be wonderful.
It would be. Do you know what other shows are here in Farmville that you can think of? I know that during Christmas there's a few different. Well,
you've got of course the Christmas event that goes on now for art things. Though the Heart of Virginia is really the big one. If they're having a separate art festival, that's awesome. Mm-hmm. I know there is a. It's not really gallery. It's shop, kind of gallery / shop in the front part of Red Door up on Main Street there, where artists display their work for sale.
Oh, when is that? You said.
Well, it's just an ongoing.
Okay.
I don't think it's a specific. As far as I know, Cub Creek, which is out Appomattox way, but I don't know if they do. That's like an artist retreat. I don't know if they have they probably have a festival thing of some kind.
The shows are strange. I mean,
there's a lot of artists at the wine festival too.
Oh,
artists go to will display at the wine festival, which happens down, of course, Riverside Park.
Oh, what time?
That's always in the fall. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
A lot of them are in the fall.
There's a wine festival in Powhatan as well. It's not right here, but where a lot of artists are.
I hear wine festival, and I'm like, right. I'm from Napa County, Sonoma County. I mean, it's the biggest vineyards in the world out there. It's like, oh, it's gorgeous.
I mean, I'm sure it is beautiful. I will say, though, there are some Virginia wines that I think taste better than some California wines.
I'm sure there are.
There are some, to me, that I actually think are even better than some French and Italian wines. I know that's kind of blasphemy.
Did you see Bottle Shock?
Oh, yes.
Fantastic. Bill Pullman. And that's where I lived. I mean, literally.
Okay.
He filmed his
area. Beautiful.
Right.
That was a fun movie. Anything with Paul Giamatti.
It was surprisingly good.
Alan Rickman's in that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
he was funny.
Yeah,
too.
no, the one I was thinking with Paul Giamatti, that's Sideways. That's a different wine movie.
Terrible at names. But
different wine
Bill
movie.
Pullman, I could remember.
Bill Pullman and Alan Rickman were Bottle Shock. That's right. Good movie.
Yeah, watch it if you haven't. It's
very funny film.
Well, and it's based on a real story. That's what makes it so good. So.
There was one. It's not Bottle Shock though, or was it Bottle Shock? Maybe I'm getting myself confused. That's not the one that talks about the California wines that were at the French wine and won that year. Okay, that is the one that won. And it was such a massive shock and upset.
The hippie kid.
Yeah, winning.
It was all politics. It was a stunning event, and it should be a day in history or something, you know.
And it may very well be. We get there, who knows? Maybe. Of course, you probably have heard by now about the Delbert comic strip, if you read the comics in papers, if you even read newspapers anymore. Of course, the distributor, Andrews McNeil Universal, announced they will no longer work with creator Scott Adams. The CEO and president said in a joint statement issued yesterday the syndication company is severing their relationship because of his recent comments on race, saying they're not compatible with the company's core values. Now, this came from a February 22nd episode of Adams' YouTube show. I didn't know he had a YouTube show. He basically described African Americans as being a hate group. So various media publishers across the U.S. have denounced his comments as being hateful, discriminatory, and racist, and will no longer provide platforms for his work and his comics. So it may very well be the end of Dilbert if you were a fan. Never really got into it. It was the office comedy humor, and
you're not in an office.
Yeah, really. Never been in that kind of environment, sitting in a cubicle all day. But so
yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
never got him.
No, and you probably heard as well. Everything, Everywhere, All at Once took the top honor, the Screen Actors Guild Awards. Winning the top there. So very well could that there, and the fact that it did very well at the BAFTAs are solidifying its forerunner status for Oscar Best Picture. So we'll have to see what happens.
Did I just see Jake Paul?
Yep.
Not again.
Took his first ring defeat. Ended up going to split decision.
Is this the same?
Tommy Fury. Paul knocked down the unbeaten Fury with a short left hand early in the final round. Ended up going to split decision. Also, we did have a celebrity death. Walter Mirisch, the Oscar-winning producer, died at 101.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. Wouldn't we all like to get there? Of course, he oversaw many of the classics. Some Like It Hot, West Side Story, In the Heat of the Night. According to the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences, they announced Saturday he died from natural causes Friday evening at his home in Los Angeles. They said in a statement they praised him as a true visionary, as both a producer and an industry leader. He served as Academy president and governor for many years, and there's a memorial service expected to be held. So, yeah, he was involved in many, many big Oscar winners. The Apartment was another one of his. Worked on several Billy Wilder films, also with John Ford, John Huston, George Roy Hill. So some big names in the business. String of hits from the 50s to the 70s. The Great Escape, The Magnificent Seven, Fiddlers on the Roof, The Pink Panther, the sequel, The Shot in the Dark, Thomas Crown Affair. I mean,
really? Seriously?
He was involved in all of those.
Quite the resume.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, even the Heat of the Night sequel, They Call Me Mr. Tibbs, was one of his as well.
Doesn't he even kind of look the part, you know?
He does look that Hollywood producer.
50s black and white.
Yeah, well, the picture too there, him with Charlton
Yeah,
Heston.
they got him.
Heston awarded him the award that one time. So
Cruise, everything, everywhere.
yeah, he was honored. He was just honored for his work as a film producer. People may not know the Cruise has put some of his money into producing films, and at the Screen Actors Guild, he won was honored for his work as a producer over the past few decades. The new Ant-Man sinking fast in theaters. According to studio estimates that came out over the weekend, what is your top film? Oh, boy. Cocaine Bear.
I know somebody who went to that movie.
Oh, really?
You know some people.
Oh, Lord. I can't wait to hear what they think of it.
They liked it.
A gonzo R-rated horror comedy. It actually, I have to say, when I heard about it, I thought this does sound funny enough to watch.
Yeah.
It is somewhat based on a true story.
Mm-hmm.
So it's based on this bear who came across a bag full of cocaine that was from a cocaine drop. And, of course,
What could possibly
now
go
gets
wrong?
this massive high. I mean, that was kind of, no one was injured or anything like this. Well, in the movie, they make it as if, well, what if there are people, hiking in the woods or camping in the woods or whatever, and they have to fend off this bear. It sniffed up $23 million on opening weekend. Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania shrank quickly in its second weekend. Still number one, though, brought in $32.2 million over the week. The Ant-Man sequel, hit by some of the worst reviews and audience scores the Marvel Universe has ever seen, dropping a steep 69.7% from one weekend to the next.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm going to be looking for that one. I'm not an Ant-Man fan. Anyway.
I watched the first one. I don't think I've seen the second one yet. Of course, the Cocaine Bear, they had a trailer during the Super Bowl for the film.
Oh, I missed that.
Yeah, and it kind of transferred that you can't believe it's actually a real movie. When you see the trailer, you think it's a comedy, kind of like Snakes on the Plane.
Well, I was told that the bear is CGI'd in.
A lot of it, yeah. And it overperformed. The critics are giving it a B-, but people are saying, you know what, this could be kind of fun. And I have to admit, it does sound...
The premise is just... hilarious.
Yeah, it can't be, but so much of a horror film and so much of a serious film,
I did
just
hear
based
it was
on.
a little dark, though.
Well, it's a horror comedy, so it's got to be that dark humor.
Yep.
I mean, you would assume it is. I think it's also it's in theaters, but it's also streaming. I don't know if it's HBO Max.
Really?
Someone also it's one of those code.
Okay.
If you have this channel, you can also watch it as well as.
Doesn't that drive you a little batty sometimes? It's like you're getting advertised a movie or something, and they're like, "Oh, watch options," and none of them are any of the platforms that you're paying for.
No, well,
it's like, oh no, I don't want to pay for another platform just for this movie.
Oh well, I got all the ones I want. But actually, the best thing out there is IPTV.
Yeah.
And there are multiple IPTVs. You sign up for a service, you can watch TV wherever you want, anywhere in the world.
Yep. You're talking Netflix, Prime, HBO Max.
Well, those
Apple
are
TV.
those are the apps on their own.
Okay, I call them platforms. That's why.
Yeah, they are the apps, the platforms. No, IPTV is third party television. So most of the services are minimal. It's even cheaper. You pay for the whole year up front. Mm-hmm. And then you basically have access of TV anywhere in the world. So I watch live TV from the UK, from France, from Italy.
You're talking like on your phone?
I can do it on my phone, my tablet, on my TV.
But you can do that with all the others, like Prime, Netflix, Hulu.
Oh, yeah, I can do that too. Yeah. But I'm not seeing live television from the UK.
Live.
Or live from Italy or live from Japan.
I think the operative word here might be live.
Live. It is live television. Or anywhere in the United States.
Yeah.
So, I mean, particularly for people who are big sports fans, that's the way to go because you don't really have to worry about blackouts. Because every ABC, every CBS, every NBC, every PBS.
You have this?
Yeah. Oh,
I'm going to have to check it out.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I love it because I get to spend my weekends watching the entire rally race from wherever country it's being hosted in Europe. I don't have to worry about just getting highlights, on YouTube.
Rally race.
Yeah. The greatest drivers in the world.
Is that why you drive a Subaru?
No, it isn't, but it is a cool coincidence. No, I did not get the WRX. But I do love rally racing. To me, it is absolutely amazing. I don't care what anybody says. Those are the greatest drivers in the world. When you can do 80, 90 miles an hour around blind curves on cliffs where there are no guardrails or on solid sheets of ice, or turn a corner and there may all of a sudden be a cow, and you survive, you are the greatest drivers in the world.
They are fun.
It is just remarkable.
I've always seen. It's always been hard to get good coverage for those things.
Very much. You got highlight shows.
Everybody's all stretched out, from the camera, so that it's like, we got somebody coming.
Mm-hmm. Well, and it's a 3-day event, right. So you have these 3 stages over these days. You never get to see it.
Like the Iditarod.
Same kind of thing. Oh yeah, no, IPTV is fantastic.
Nice.
But I'll tell you the same thing I've told anybody who's ever talked about going to streaming, wanting to ditch their cable, satellite, and just switch to stream. Don't think about the channels you watch. What shows do you watch? Because the biggest thing most people don't realize is that a show may air on, say, CBS. But CBS isn't the production company. NBC could be the production company. Or Apple could be the production. That's going to be the platform that's going to show it, unless it's a particularly new show, and then it might be who's paying the rights to show it. That's why sometimes you'll see something on Netflix, sometimes you'll see something on Hulu, or whatever these connections are.
These guys,
and it is cheaper than your satellite and cable.
COVID just got these guys rich and richer. I'm glad they were there, though.
Oh, yeah.
There's just so much content out there. It is overwhelming.
More than you could ever watch.
Yep.
More than you could ever watch. But watching is over. It's time for playing. And for us, it's time to play on out of here. John Staten coming back in after your news and weather here with more great music. Keep it here on The Flow. Be back tomorrow. 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 Flow. Be back tomorrow.